Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Blue Table Talk. I'm your host, Deborah Jones, along with my co-host, Toya. Hey, Toya, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
So glad to see that you came on tonight. And we have a special guest tonight. We have Honest John here tonight. Hey, Honest John, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Glad to be
Great,
here.
great. We can't wait to get on to our topic. But before we get to that, um, we're just going to, of course, I'm always talking about COVID because COVID never leaves, that doesn't look like it's going to ever leave us. And so, continue to take care of yourself. Uh, like I told you guys earlier, my sister was experiencing it this year, and now she's negative. So I'm so happy for her because it looked like she was going to never get rid of it. But it's all good. So continue to take care of yourself. Continue to wash your hands, and if you do have a guys, stay home and if you have to go anywhere, wear a mask. So if you take care of yourself, you can take care of others. Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce our guest for tonight. We have Honest John. And Honest John, thank you for accepting the invitation to Blue Table Talk tonight. And so we're going to welcome you in by you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a stand-up comedian and actor, uh, living in the Los Angeles area, and I started doing comedy in 1988, and I'm still going.
So you enjoy comedy, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So do you travel a lot?
Uh, Fair amount. Fair amount. Matter of fact, next month I'm going to Jackson, Michigan, to do a show there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I have several local shows here around the Los Angeles area that I'm doing this month.
Oh, cool. So we're talking tonight about voting, and so we're gonna throw that out there to our audience. That I don't see that coming on right now, but they'll be out in a minute. But we want to know why does voting matter to you?
Why does voting matter? Well, heck, it's the foundation of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
We get to vote on who we want in and who we don't want in. And so, if people don't vote, then and a lot of people have done that. They just go, "Oh hell, my vote doesn't mean anything," but your vote does mean something, and it's important for people not just to vote, but to be informed, to know what this vote is about. This election, you know, we're actually making a choice of whether we're going to be a democracy or a dictatorship,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, Trump is a very, very dangerous individual, and we people have to go out and vote and keep him out of the Oval Office. If he gets in there, he's going to try to change this country into a dictatorship.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody knows that, but I don't know. It's something about him that scares a lot of people. And we know that our democracy can't function without full participation. And early voting improves that and the turnout. If we go vote early and get in there and do what we need to do, and then if you don't vote early, you go on election day, then you got to know that your vote matters. You have to know that. There's no if
Yeah,
and buts about it.
yeah. If your vote wasn't important, there wouldn't be so many people trying to prevent you from voting.
What are some of the things you consider before voting?
What a Well, I consider what the what the candidates' uh, positions are on the issues, whether that person is someone you can trust, uh, whether that person is someone you can believe.
Hmm.
So, for example, I don't trust Trump. Uh, I wish that we had a younger, more energetic candidate than Joe Biden, but he's what we got. And hey, uh, and old Joe Biden has been, and Trump is only 3 years younger.
Only.
So it ain't like it ain't like he's 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 the old guy and Trump's the young guy. They're both men. The difference is that Biden is a decent human being who respects our traditions and our uh, and our the limits on government and the different uh, departments of government. And Trump is an evil egomaniac who has no respect for anything.
No respect for person at all. None. None at all. I'm still on that wagon about how is it that Trump, who is a felon, running for president, and you have voters who go vote and they can't vote. They can now, but at one point they couldn't vote because they had a record, But now we have the president, who someone who's running for president or who was president before. He's a felon, but you still have him in office. You still have him running for office.
He's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, he tried to overturn the legitimate government of the United States. He should not be allowed to be running.
Right.
Unfortunately, Merrick Garland, when he got into office, did not go after Trump right away. He wanted to avoid looking political, so he stayed out of that. And what he should have done was investigated. I mean, these trials that Trump would have if he's not elected, they should have been done long ago. It's 4 years later. Why didn't Merrick Garland do anything? It was a stupid and terrible mistake. Trump should be in jail right now as we speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court, should have ruled that Trump was not immune from prosecution and let that trial go on instead of delaying his trial more. That was unforgivable.
Right.
Do you think if it was
Not
do you think they would have gotten away with it?
Say it one more time. You're kind of low.
I was asking Mr. John if he thought if it was another president, even one of the Bushes or Clinton or Obama, do you think they would have gotten away with what Trump is getting away with?
Well, for one thing, nobody else would have tried to do what Trump tried to do.
Okay.
Nobody that has ever tried to overturn an election in our country.
Right.
The fact that he was sitting in the White House while people were attacking the Capitol and refused to do anything is just, that's a crime in itself.
That's a crime in itself.
That's a crime in itself. So, and because he wanted the people to succeed. He would have liked to have seen Mike Pence hang. He would have liked to have seen a whole bunch of politicians murdered. It didn't happen, but not because, he sat there watching TV hoping it would happen.
Right. Let me stop right here. Let me go to my listening audience and welcome them in. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. We're talking about why your vote matter. If you have anything to say upon that issue, please go ahead and type your questions out or your statements out, whatever you want to do. And let's talk about voting, because there are a lot of people, guys, y'all, and everybody know that do not vote. And we need to get them out voting, because we're in a dilemma. and we really need to get out of this, because we have two presidents that's running, and we've got to see what's what. Like he said, like Honest John said earlier, Biden is 81, Trump is 77. What's the difference? First of all, everybody's trying to get Biden to retire or drop off the race. Leave that man alone. Let him run his race, and let him do what he do. But I need you guys to talk about it and come on in. So I'm gonna go back to Honest John, and we're gonna talk and ask questions, and Toya. And so let's get the show going on. So if someone wants to vote absentee, but they choose to go live and still vote, you think they can do that?
Well, it depends on the state that you're in. Some states make it really, really hard to vote by mail. California, where I live, they send out ballots to everybody, and you can just vote by mail and you're all set. Other states, they make it real hard to vote, and people, a lot of times you see these people standing around waiting for hours to get in to vote.
Right. Which is go ahead, baby.
My question is, you're very, very vocal on Facebook and on social media about your opinions. Do you ever get backlash?
Do I ever get what?
Backlash
for your opinions.
Oh, well, occasionally there's people that tell me I'm call me names and stuff like that, but there's nothing serious. Nothing's going to stop me.
I know that, Mr. Joe. I was just curious with, your platform, do people threaten you and things of that nature?
There hasn't been anything that has really bothered me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So okay. So we have Biden running for in the Democrat. We have I'm gonna say Bush, Trump running in the Republican. Don't we have a third party, Kennedy? Is he still running or what? You don't hear too much about it.
Independent, right?
Independent. Mm-hmm. Is he still doing it? That's not doing anything but splitting the votes right there.
Yeah, it is.
Are you talking about that guy Kennedy?
Yes.
John Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, Robert. Mm-hmm.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's still running, but I haven't really heard much about it.
You don't hear much about it, But like I say, I hate when people split the votes. Go ahead and whoever you want to stay there and let them have their seat and everything, and vote for them. But now you got people who knew the Kennedys back in the day and knew what they were like back in the day. Now Robert is running probably in John's footsteps.
This Kennedy is not anybody that I would want to have anything to do
Absolutely.
with. Matter of fact, members of his own family have come out against him.
Right.
Because he's just kind of an idiot, really.
Right.
Did you think the attempted assassination was staged, or do you think it was real?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Yeah, because it's kind of low.
Yeah. I was asking, do you think that was a real assassination attempt, or do you think it was staged?
It's hard to say. Anything can happen. But I mean, if it was a staged assassination attempt, I don't think the guy would have missed by as little as he did. Man, and look, that kind of thing should not happen.
It should not happen. I don't care I don't care what's going on. That shouldn't happen at all.
That shouldn't happen. Whether it was staged or whether it was just, he's probably just some guy who's crazy. Uh, and I hate to say this, but uh, it shouldn't have happened. I'm against it happening, but it would have been nice if he'd have been a better shot.
You have some new material to work on, Mr. John.
maybe we got closer, huh?
But whether it was staged or anything like that, it just
It's wrong.
it's wrong. That's
It's wrong.
all.
Yeah. I don't care whether we like him, love him, or whatever. It's wrong. It's wrong.
He still has a family,
Yeah, no one should go through that. No one.
You're right.
Cheryl Chambers says, let's see what Cheryl's talking about. She said, what are your thoughts about Project 25? And do you think it's a part of Trump's agenda? Trump is trying to separate himself from it. Thank you, Cheryl.
He might be trying to separate himself from it now, but if he gets elected,
that's gonna be it.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He has made it clear that he said he wants to suspend the Constitution, all that kind of thing. Start up concentration camps, do all the rule of law doesn't mean anything to him. And and he will appoint judges. Now, fortunately, a lot of the judges that he appointed have ruled against him in his court proceedings, but he'll try to appoint judges that no matter what he does, they'll rule for him. And those guys on the Supreme Court that he put on there,
yeah,
if they had any integrity at all, they would have just said, no, Trump's not immune from prosecution. Go ahead and start the trials.
Yeah, but he put them there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because number one, he knew he was gonna run again. He knew that he's gonna run again, but he put him there for a reason. Mm-hmm.
He put them there because he thought that they would be in his hip pocket.
Yeah.
And some of them are, even the ones that he didn't put there, like Alito and Clarence Thomas.
Right.
They're in Trump's hip pocket, even though he didn't appoint them.
Right. And it's scary. It really is scary, to know that these people all on his side, and they're going, whatever he says, it's going to be it.
And it's a lifetime appointment.
It's a lifetime appointment.
So hopefully get Biden back in there, and he can replace Clarence Thomas and Alito and some of the other. You never know what's going to happen, but we need to get people back in the Supreme Court that have some sense of integrity and that believe in the law.
Right. So what do you think about mail-in ballots? Do you think that they are secure? Do you think people should come in and just vote and say? I know a lot of citizens cannot go in to vote, but do you think that they are counted? Do you think that they, let me say, like a joke, whatever?
No, mail-in ballots are very important. Like I said, here in California, anybody who wants to can just mail in their ballot. The ballots are sent out, you fill them out, you can send them back in. Now you have to fill them out right, sign them right. You have to be very careful to make sure that you dot all your I's and cross your T's. But there's no reason why mail-in ballots should not be allowed. Matter of fact, it's a lot smarter to have the mail-in ballots than to have people showing up on election day and waiting around all day.
Right.
And another thing is that election day should be a national holiday. People shouldn't have to lose money by taking time away from
Right.
work to vote.
I worked as a clerk in the voting system, and there are times when people show up to vote and they don't have all the, like you said, their I's dotted or their T's crossed or whatever, or they have something missing. They have to vote provisional. My thing is, do they count those ballots, those provisional ballots? Because you don't know whether they count them or not. I know that they're the last thing that's they do, but are they counted for these these voters?
Well, that's why it's important to have all of that stuff taken care of, before election day, not trying to fix it on the day that you go in to vote.
Yeah. I don't know why people do that, but I wouldn't vote. I can't vote provisional. No, because I want everything I do counted. So, but you tell them, yes, your vote is counted. Yes, because you voted provisional, it doesn't mean anything.
And don't wait until election day to vote. There are early voting days. If you insist on going in there in person and voting, then you shouldn't wait until the last day. You should go get in on one of the early voting days, get that taken care of.
What about our young voters? We try to register them at the age of 18 or before 18. So when they get 18, they know that, hey, you're eligible to vote. We lose a lot of people because they say that my vote doesn't count. And because I'm 18 or whatever, you're going to do what you want to do. You're going to put in office who you want to put in office. What do our younger people matter as well as the older generation?
Oh, they sure do. And they're the ones that are going to have to live with it. If they don't take this thing seriously and democracy gets ripped out from under us, it'll be because people didn't care enough to go in and vote.
Right. But
there are people who are very, very passionate about voting for Donald Trump. Now, everybody else should be just as passionate about voting against him. We have a lot to lose in this country. And not only that, but around the world. Trump, while he was president, gave top secret information to the Russians. Trump has his nose so far up Putin's butt that every time Putin farts, Trump sneezes. I mean, it's
yeah, you're right.
And you can see it whenever they got together. For one thing, Trump would go in, he wouldn't allow anybody else to go in with him. They would use the Russians translator. We don't know what he said. There were no records kept. But we do know that he fawned all over him. He was like a teenage girl when Justin Bieber comes by.
Yeah.
And not just with him. He loves dictators around the world. And he doesn't respect our allies. And those are our most important. NATO is the most important alliance in the world. And Trump, if he gets into office, will try to pull America out of it.
Right. In September, I think it's September 10th or 11th, one of those days, I'm not sure. And there will be another debate. Do you think we should have another debate or what? Or you think that should have been enough for what they did there?
Oh, yeah. The more debates, the better. But I hope Biden does better in the next debate. I support him. I will vote for him. But he was just awful. And
Yeah.
in the last debate, he was bad, and I understand. But as somebody who's a friend of mine on Facebook wrote, says you might think Alfred is too old to take care of the Batcave, but you don't give the job to the Joker.
You don't. You don't. And Trump is a joker. I don't think either one of them were good that night because number one, not. I mean, Biden was leery and going. I don't know, falling asleep, but had taken something. I don't know what he took, but as him. And Trump wasn't on the answer part. I mean, he did not speak about what they were talking about. Every time they asked him a question, they were off the record. So they said he won the debate. I don't think so. Neither one of them won.
You know, Biden should be able to beat Trump in a debate just by pointing out his lies and telling the truth.
And tell the truth.
But he wasn't forceful enough. He didn't have his act together.
Right. Right.
You know? And that's one of the things is like, you know, he's really done a really good job as president as far as creating jobs, keeping the economy going, getting things done. He's done an excellent job of that, but he doesn't get any credit for it.
Mm-hmm. Would you think the perception of the economy improved with either one of them being president?
I mean, the economy is what it is. We've seen what's happened. People have jobs. The unemployment rate is low. Inflation was really a big problem, but now that's under control.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people. I mean, let's face it. The economy is always going to favor the rich over the rest of us. But, you know, we're doing better than any other country is as far as our economy goes, as far as the middle class goes. You know, there's a lot more that needs to be done, but
Right.
You know, our economy was in terrible shape because of the way that Trump handled the COVID.
Right.
And a whole lot of people died because Trump,
Millions.
because of the way he handled the COVID. As a matter of fact, there should be millions of people wanting to vote against Trump just because of the way he handled the COVID.
Right. Absolutely. That was horrible. I mean, he even, huh?
I said, and also on January 6th, people should be against that as well.
As well. Yes. Yes. And that definitely was horrible. You know. And you know you haven't forgotten about it.
I haven't forgotten and I haven't forgiven.
Right.
You know, and the fact that there are people who want to put him back in office is disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how low we've sunk as a democracy. You know,
Right.
one of the things that democracy depends on is an informed electorate.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have now is we have people just, you know, like there are these news channels that just tell lies all the time. Like Fox is one. Fox is like one of
Fox
the
is
biggest
always
news.
depressions now. I'm sorry.
It's one of the biggest news channels we've got. And one of the things that came out in the lawsuit against Fox is not only they lie, but they know they're lying,
Right.
and they make decisions that they have to lie because if they don't, their audience won't like what they're hearing.
Right.
And people should be ready to handle the truth.
Yeah. But do people know what the truth is? That's the cut part there.
Okay, I see. This is
Jeanette Rito says voting issues, the the elderly one deals with on a day-to-day basis. COVID hurt some of the elder because they couldn't get their IDs renewed. Number one, renewing online was not computer friendly. And number two, the midwife thing hurt them back in the day because either their names were misspelled on birthdays weren't accurate. Number three, records department burned down, so they can't get birth certificates. I deal with some who haven't been able to collect their Social Security. One man is 74. The attorneys can't even help. Wow.
Do we know where that where she's from?
Jeanette, no.
She's from Beaumont, Texas. She's from
She is?
Texas. Yes, ma'am. That's
She's from
Bo
Texas.
Rito's wife. Yes.
Well, if there's one state that is badly run, it's Texas. You have the governor and the legislature are just off. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for people not to be able to get their records.
And Texas is a red state. You know that, right? It's not a blue
I know.
state.
I know Texas is a red state.
Yes. Yep.
With all of that being said, I think Jeanette is talking about, back in like our grandparents' days with the census, when they were going from house to house. That's how a lot of that stuff happened with the misspelling of names and lost records. So it goes back to that too.
Oh yeah, it goes back then because my sister really I didn't say my sister, I'm sorry, I apologize. Correction, my sister name was not on her birth certificate. It was like baby girl, and so they did not put it on the birth certificate. And my mom had told them her name, but they put baby girl Red instead of her name. She had a problem at first by trying to change that out, but then it's changed out now. So yeah.
Yeah, well, if there are mistakes, they
But
can't.
we're not from Texas. We're from DC. So
if there are mistakes, they can be fixed, but you have to be persistent, and you have to to be willing to put up with a lot of bull just to get those mistakes fixed.
yeah. Let me go back to my viewers. Thank you guys for viewing us today, coming on today, because we are talking about why your vote matter. Go ahead and put those questions out there, and let's talk about it. Let's dwell on it, and see if we can all come together as one and push people out there in our community to vote for it. Because number one, your local votes matters more than that national vote, because we have to live with these people. And so if you vote locally, I know you're going to vote national. So come on, throw out these questions, throw out these statements, throw out whatever you need to throw out, so the three of us can get together and talk to you about it. Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah, like the vote for the school board is very important.
Very.
There are people, especially in the red states, they want to shut down any learning. They don't want people to learn about Black history. They want this kind of sanitized version where the slaves were happy and smiling and all that kind of thing. And they want to pretty up all this history that it is what it is. The history is what it is. The people who lived back then thought a lot different than the way we do now. And so I ain't going to condemn them because of that history that happened. All I'm saying is that as the years gone by, we know better. We have to we have to do what we can to prevent that history from happening again. There are a whole lot of people that want to bring back the worst aspects of this country, and they're in office and running for office, and in some ways, it's an advantage to be an old codger like me, because if things do go bad, I won't have to deal with it for as long.
Yeah. But then we got our people behind us, our relatives behind us. So we don't want them to deal with it as anyway. So we have to help them out in order for them to survive their years. So
Yeah, and people need to educate themselves about the local issues.
mm-hmm.
Who's running for the school board? What do they want to do? Are they going to help the teachers? Are they going to try to prevent the teachers from teaching what's real? And it goes all the way up from the local government to like gun laws, for example, right? There are some people that just want everybody to have a gun. Guns are dangerous. Guns, we need to be very careful about who gets guns. And because look at what's happening. We're having shootings just about every day. Guns should be hard to get, not impossible. People do have a right to have weapons to protect themselves.
Right.
But all these automatic weapons, we don't need those. Those are weapons of war. They shouldn't be on the street.
Yeah. But I guess they feel as though they need those weapons to protect themselves. So because you have a lot of bad people out there, and so they need to be protected. So and you never know who you're running to. So
well, that's the thing. When you have these easy access to guns, right, and open carry and stuff like that, right? What happens is that people can walk around with guns displayed out in the open, and you don't know what they're going to do until they start doing it. People should have to get a permit to have a gun. They should have a background check. It should be, it should be harder to get a gun than it is to vote.
Right. You were speaking on teachers and the school boards. I'm an educator, so I know what it's like for these teachers to go out and teach every day, teach your child or anybody's children, and they're not getting paid effectively. They need raises. I don't know across the board, but I do know here in my city. They need, if they're to get a raise, it is well deserved. And we have students in the class. They have students in the classroom who are just disruptive, but you got to put up with it. You're the one who's got to tell Mary Jane and John to sit down or stop the foods until I can give you instructions. And Mama sitting at home, not doing what she's supposed to do. You could give her a call. She's not coming down there. She's not picking up that child. That's your job.
Yeah. And a lot of those children who I had experiences with who are disruptive is because there's something going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids probably can't read, write. They're raising themselves, and we need to find out what's going on and help these babies.
So you need people in the office that have the teachers back. Put it like that. Yeah. I mean, you've had people on the board who were educators in the beginning, but you forgot. Did you forget how it is in the classroom?
They did something. I never thought school board was so political.
Yeah. So Deborah Bennett Chapman says, "Hey Deborah, how you doing? Thank you for throwing the question statement out. Texas is a red state. I agree. Texas is horrible. That's why local and state elections matter. In the only way we can get those laws off the book, which will take generations under us to change the law. Beaumont is a prime example of people not thinking local election does not matter. Our city council is rejecting the recommendation of the police chief." Oh my God, it's horrible. You have the city manager throwing out his orders of who he want as the police chief, and you're gonna reject it? I'm sorry, I thought the city manager run the city.
Well, the city manager, the council, he's the council is his boss.
Right.
But the thing about it is, if you would have been there, it was more of a scare tactics with the police department. They were in there deep, and they got up there and basically said, "Whatever we're gonna still do what we want to do."
They already had what they wanted to do in mind already.
Yeah, they already did. But too many people are afraid to speak up, and that's what irritates me. I don't
So
get
now
it.
you thinking the guy who is the police chief now is irreplaceable. That's a lie.
Oh no, he needs to be replaced.
He needs to be replaced.
Because he swept so many things up under the rug. I've reported things to him that was swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Deborah,
you got me started now. You got me started now. See, I'm trying to stay low key a little bit, you know. But
I'm not.
They got me started. Huh?
I said people need to stop being afraid. They need to speak up. And they want to complain, but they don't want to do anything about it.
And we know what's going on in our own city. Get your tail out there and vote. Get your tail out there and move these people that promise you that they're gonna do this and not doing it. You feel what I'm saying? Come on, get them out. Their time for election is coming up real soon.
Mr. John, you ever thought about getting into politics? Running for anything?
No. Last thing I want to do is get into politics. I like the job I got.
You like?
And no, I'm just not cut out for politics. It takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work and a lot of strong will.
You know, and I mean, if you're going to do the job right, you have to learn about a lot of things. And people, we've got a lot of people that are holding office that just don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need retired teachers and parents on that school board that has, investment in the community. It's just my opinion about it. Because you guys know the ins and the outs and what's needed. And I think we need to start getting these young kids to start running fresh out of high school because they know what they needed in school.
Right.
At least put them on some type of committee and listen to these children because they know what they needed.
Yeah. And stop pushing them to the side. So, you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. You have to sit down and listen. There was a fourth grader speaking to me while I was there. And when I tell you that girl had gone on as far as intelligence and, know what she's talking about. And I just sat back and I looked and she had me in tears,
Yeah. I learned a lot from these kids, even my own children. I started listening more to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned a whole lot. Oh my God, I've learned so much. Some things I didn't want to know, but I've learned a lot from them.
So we got to
actually going to spearhead the literacy program with my nonprofit. My 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be, she's going to spearhead it because that's what she said they need in school. So I listen to these kids and let them do whatever it is they want to do. I got the nonprofit for a reason. It's to help the new generation coming up.
Right. Help them out. Just stand by their side.
Yeah,
that's stand by their side, and we won't have to worry about looking at them on TV. As far you feel me? Yeah. Deborah also says it's the truth. That's their way, but the only way we can do was have to change is vote. Our weapon is our vote across the city and state and every level. Yes, we have to vote. We have to get everybody out to vote, not just the young people. There are older people who do not vote. So we got to get everybody out to vote. If they can't make it make it down there themselves, like Honest John and myself was saying, they have mail-ins. So they can mail their ballot in. If they can't, if they feel like that, I want to go in there and they can't get out the car, they have people who are in there, in the clerks in there. They can come to your car and have you voting. They bring the machine to you. So there's no if and buts about I can't do this or I can't vote because there's no way for me to vote. There are ways for that you can vote.
That's
And
true. You know what?
they make it visible for you to vote because they come to your car. I know that for a fact.
Yep. I had surgery, and then you brought me to the polls, and they brought the machine out to the car,
Yeah,
and they stepped away and allowed me to vote. You're right.
right. They said that we step away and allow you to vote. They're not looking at who you voted for. They're not looking about what party you in or whatever. That's on you. So come on, guys, we have to locally, nationally, state, whatever, we have to vote. We have to vote. I have 7 facts why voters matter. Number 1, young people play an important role in the election. 2, a single vote can make or break an election. 3, taking time off isn't always realistic, but more companies are giving employees flexibility to exercise their civic duty. Yeah, I know that because a lot of times people they'll come on and say, "Have you voted yet? You can go. You can leave now and go vote, whatever." So come on, there's no way that people not stopping you from voting. 4, registering to vote is a big step into adulthood, and it's possible to sign up before 18 years old. 5, voting doesn't have to be inconvenient. Many citizens could vote by mail. 6, democracy can't function without full participation, and early voting improves turnout. 7, registration complication keep people away from the polls. Signing online can help guarantee citizens can cast a ballot. Those are 7 ways that why vote matters, why your vote matters. So don't say your vote doesn't matter. It does. It's
And
your
if you haven't registered to vote yet, you still can. You should do whatever is necessary to make sure that you can vote, and then to make sure that you do vote.
Yeah. It's sad when you watch television during the election, any election, local, national, whatever, and they, especially local, and they said about how many people voted and everything, and then you in different areas, and you're like, dang, we got more people out here than that. Why don't they get out the vote? This is early election, early voting. So you said they're not getting out to vote. Then on election day, you have lines way back, but it's still not everybody in the city because everybody's not going to vote. But this election, we need to.
You're right. But Black Walker, I up on campaigns going into the hood. A lot of people say that their voice it doesn't matter because we get them elected, and then they turn their backs and they never see them again. Now I'm starting to see what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they truly feel. And then I had some guys tell me, "Well, I've been to jail." I said, "Just because you went to jail doesn't mean you cannot vote."
No, that used to be a time like that,
Yeah,
but it's not like that anymore. Yeah, and then where it really depends on your felony, what your crime, what it is. So that's how
a
they
lot
go.
of people just think, a lot of guys just thought because they were arrested and went to jail, they
Mm-hmm.
could have a dope case. They thought they could not vote. You have to go out and educate people. They need to educate themselves, actually.
Mm-hmm. But if they're not educated about it, then they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Jeanette says, I have an elderly that refused to vote for fear of having to do jury duty, and I can't convince them. Jury duty, guys, come on, we need to do that.
It's important. I'm glad Jeanette said that because I was sitting down with a friend of mine who's an attorney, and I brought up a young man who was on trial for a crime that he didn't commit. And then I said, well, we're still talking about jury duty. And he told me, you're part of the problem because you do not go to jury duty. They don't have enough of us that look like these kids. That's why they're getting railroaded. And that stuck with me. So yes, they need to know they are part of the problem if they aren't going to jury duty.
Yeah.
Besides that, not voting won't get you out of jury duty. So it'd be a shame if
Yeah.
you not only didn't vote, but then wound up stuck on jury duty.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and jury duty is again, it's another part of democracy.
Another part of democracy.
It's another part of democracy. We get to be tried by a jury of our peers,
Mhm.
rather than having somebody that's just can decide whatever the evidence is that you're going to jail.
Right, Jeanette. Jeanette say they don't understand. You're right. They don't.
You
And I
know,
know
But that's where you step in.
Yeah.
That's where you step in, and you explain it to them why their vote matter or why they need to go to jury duty. Do jury duty. You know, that's where we step in. For those of us who know better, when you know better, you do better.
yeah, I don't like it when I get called for jury duty, but I've always gone, and I've always felt like, I was doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always done my jury duty, except for one time, and it was recently. I didn't do jury duty. I was trying to go somewhere, and I didn't want to do jury duty that time. And then they cut me loose because of my age and everything. You know, when you're over 70, you don't have to do it. So I was like,
I mean,
I can go.
no, I'm excited about going to jury duty now.
I'm excited. Yeah, and I still get notes now. But I mean, whether I'm 70, 80, 102, I still get notice to go. So, but I need to go somewhere that day and that time. So I had to get out of it. But your vote does matter, guys, and we need to go out and spread the word. You know, and I know at churches they always have a registrar to come and register you to vote. I mean, every church I've gone to, visited, there are always a registrar there to help you to register to vote. So if you have not been registered to vote, or if you have not kept your voting registration up, please, please, please get in there before it's too late. Get in there before it's too late, because the elections are coming up in November. Local, state, national, they are coming up in November. We need to be in there to do what we do.
Yeah, this is the most important election,
Right.
and democracy is actually on the ballot. If Trump wins, this country is going to be changed in horrible ways.
Yes. Yes. And y'all know that. Yeah, it ain't nothing to hee ha ha about. Y'all know that. So.
And women, you have the most to lose.
Mhm.
You know, already there's all these laws in all the red states preventing women from getting health care that
Mhm.
they really need, making it a crime, even if the woman's life is in danger, to get an abortion. It's, women have the most to lose. Women need to get out there and make their voices heard, and make their presence felt, and say, you can't do this to us.
Right.
We get to decide what we're going to do.
Yes, sir.
He definitely wants to change Roe v. Wade. He definitely wants to change that. So
He already did it. The Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade.
They
mhm.
already did it. Even if you were raped or incest was involved, you still cannot have an abortion if you choose to. And they were even talking about they don't care how young you are.
So every woman that has become ill or died because they couldn't get proper health care,
Right.
that's on Trump. Trump murdered them women. and women should treat him like the murderer he is. Don't forget, this guy is also, he's been convicted in civil court
Right.
of rape,
Right.
right?
Right.
He was this guy, Jeffrey Epstein, that was his friend, that
Right.
had all these parties with the young girls.
Girls. Right.
Trump used to be a regular at those parties. There's pictures of him with 14-year-old girls. When Trump owned the Miss Teen America pageant,
Mm-hmm.
right? He used to make it a point to barge into the girls' dressing rooms so he could look at these underage girls with no clothes on. That's the kind of pervert he is. That's the kind of pervert that's running for president.
Mariah was actually in one of his pageants before all of this years ago.
Who was on the pageant?
Mariah, my oldest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, years ago, she was in one of his pageants. It was Miss Teen USA.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they were ruthless in there. Hold on, people were so ruthless.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the clock on the wall says we're gonna have to get on out of here. I wish we could talk more about this, and we probably will later. But guys, we got to get out there and vote. We have to get out there and exercise our right to tell others about voting if they don't know, if they are uncertain about it. We have to just be the what can I say, the overseer of people voting, but do what we have to do to get them out there to vote. This is a serious election. Serious election. I want to thank Jeanette. I want to thank Deborah, Cheryl, Melvinese. I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight and throwing out your questions and your statements, because like I said, we need you. We need you. Honest John, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to Blue Table Talk tonight. I appreciate you to put the word out there to help people to make up their mind to vote.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. John.
Now we're getting ready to go off tonight. Thank you, Toya. If I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then you know that my living is not in vain. God bless you and keep you. I don't know who my guest will be next week, but we'll let you know. Okay. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Good night.